Shipwreck, holding $1.1 billion treasure found after 363 years, but its secret left scientists stunned. In the heart of the vast ocean, where waves endlessly erase all traces of the past, lies a story both thrilling and tragic, one that humanity has spent centuries trying to unravel. A ship, a treasure, and a search that spanned more than half a lifetime. This is the journey of Nuestra Señora de Atocha, the ill-fated galleon that sank in the waters of the Florida Keys, taking with it a treasure worth over $1 billion into the cold, silent depths. The story begins on September 4, 1622, when the Tierra Firme treasure fleet set sail from the port of Havana, Cuba. On board were what could be called the heart of the Spanish Empire: silver from Bolivia, gold from Peru, emeralds from Colombia, and countless rare goods looted from across Spain's colonies in Latin America. Among the 20 ships that departed that day, Nuestra Señora de Atocha was tasked with guarding the rear, serving as a loyal watchdog. But fate was not kind. Just one day after leaving port, a massive hurricane tore through the Florida Straits. The wind howled, the sea raged, and 8 ships were swallowed whole. Atocha, weighed down with over 26 tons of silver, 180,000 silver coins, hundreds of gold bars, and thousands of pounds of jewelry, stood no chance against nature's fury. The ship, along with 265 souls aboard, vanished beneath the waves. Only a few sailors and enslaved people survived, clinging to floating wreckage. For the next 60 years, Spanish recovery teams attempted to retrieve the lost treasure, but the ocean does not give up its secrets easily. The wreck of the Atocha remained buried deep beneath the sands, seemingly mocking human ambition. It wasn't until 1969 that the course of history began to change, thanks to one man with unwavering passion and resilience. His name was Mel Fisher, a treasure diver from Florida. He wasn't a professional archaeologist, but he had something no one else did: absolute determination. Fisher embarked on a 16-year-long search, one that few believed would succeed. But in 1973, 3 gold bars were discovered on the ocean floor. These bars perfectly matched entries in Atocha's cargo manifest. A first clue, a flicker of light in the darkness. Then, after thousands of hours of diving and research, a miracle occurred in July 1985. Fisher and his team finally discovered the main hull of the ship, along with nearly the entire lost treasure. That moment felt as if time had stood still. Before their eyes lay about 70 pounds of Colombian emeralds, 180,000 silver coins, over 52,000 pounds of Bolivian silver, 125 gold bars, and a collection of pearls from Venezuela. Many artifacts were so perfectly preserved that it was hard to believe they had been underwater for more than 360 years. Today, much of the Atocha treasure is displayed at the Mel Fisher Maritime Museum in Key West, Florida, with additional pieces in New York. These artifacts hold not only immense material value, they are living witnesses to a bloody and controversial chapter in world history. Among the most remarkable treasures is the Atocha Cross, a masterpiece crafted from pure 24-karat gold, set with 9 dazzling Muzo emeralds. There's also the Royal Orb, a 22-karat gold sphere adorned with 37 Colombian emeralds, and the Atocha Ring, a simple yet exquisitely crafted piece featuring a 2.5-karat emerald. Astonishingly, despite centuries beneath the sea, these items remain nearly pristine. In part, this is due to the expert craftsmanship of the 17th century. But in a twist of irony, the ocean itself became the perfect natural vault. The story of the Atocha is more than a treasure hunt. It's a testament to persistence, to the spirit of discovery, and to believing in what seems impossible. And perhaps what makes Atocha truly special is this: it's not just a sunken ship, it's a symbol of the forgotten, waiting to be rediscovered from the depths of the sea. So what do you think? Do you believe that hidden in the deep ocean, there are still countless ships like Atocha, quietly guarding secrets that could reshape human history? I believe there are. After all, history has recorded countless ships that sank with vast treasures aboard. And more than that, the world has seen the discovery of many enormous, mysterious treasures. But what are these treasures? What secrets do they hold? Let's continue this journey together. Keep watching this video as we dive deeper into the stories behind history's greatest lost treasures. The $5 trillion treasure on the Awa Maru. It all began on a dark night in the open sea, when a luxurious ocean liner, once a symbol of Japan's maritime prowess, was suddenly sunk, taking with it more than 2,000 lives and possibly a treasure valued at $5 trillion. This is the tragedy of the Awa Maru, one of the greatest unresolved mysteries in both wartime and underwater archaeology. Awa Maru was not just a ship. It represented the pinnacle of Japanese shipbuilding technology between 1941 and 1943, constructed in Nagasaki, then the industrial heart of the Japanese Empire. Originally, the ship was built to serve civilians, transporting passengers along long-distance routes connecting major cities across Asia. But the fate of the Awa Maru took a dramatic turn with the outbreak of World War II. It was requisitioned by the military, eventually becoming part of Japan's desperate retreat strategy during the war's final months. On March 28, 1945, Awa Maru departed from Singapore on a special mission to repatriate thousands of Japanese nationals, civilians, diplomats, and military personnel back to their homeland before the end of the war. But what turned this voyage into legend wasn't just the ship's tragic end. It was the swirling rumors of a massive treasure said to be on board. Reports claim the cargo included tons of gold, diamonds, platinum, and other valuable assets with an estimated worth of up to $5 trillion. Yes, you heard that right, $5 trillion, a number that exceeds the GDP of many entire countries. But that treasure never reached Japan. On the night of April 1, 1945, while passing through the Taiwan Strait, under the designation of a protected humanitarian vessel with no weapons on board, a fateful incident occurred. The USS Queenfish, an American submarine, detected and torpedoed the Awa Maru. In mere seconds, the massive ship sank to the ocean floor, taking 2,004 lives with it. Only one survivor lived to tell the tale. And yet, the strangest part of the story is this: no one ever mentioned the treasure. Japan later demanded $52.5 million in compensation from the United States, but there was no official reference to any gold, diamonds, or high-value assets. So, was the treasure ever real? Or did someone already know the truth and quietly take it? By 1980, after years of speculation and pressure from historians and researchers, Taiwan launched a major salvage operation at the shipwreck site. Over 5 years, more than $100 million was poured into the search. But what was recovered? Only tin, rubber, and a few personal belongings from passengers. No gold, no diamonds, no treasure chests, no confirmation of a multi-trillion-dollar hoard. So, what happened? Why wasn't even a single gold coin found? One compelling theory comes from the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA. According to them, the massive treasure people spoke of was never actually aboard the Awa Maru at the time of its sinking. It may have been offloaded earlier in Thailand or secretly divided and hidden in locations still unknown today. That raises an avalanche of questions. If the treasure isn't underwater, where is it now? Who holds it? And did the sole survivor know more than he ever said? The treasure of the Flor de la Mar. A legendary treasure filled with pure gold, glittering gems, and royal artifacts once sailed the ocean aboard a mighty warship, crossing the seas in triumph before vanishing forever beneath the waves of the tropical sea. No one knows exactly where it lies. No one knows whether someone has already found it. And for over 500 years, it has remained there, like a haunting whisper from the past. This is the story of one of the most captivating maritime archaeological mysteries in the world. The lost treasure of the Flor de la Mar, the flower of the sea. Just hearing its name evokes a sense of poetry and allure. But don't be fooled by its beauty. Flor de la Mar was not a gentle vessel, but a full-fledged warship, built in Lisbon in 1502, at the height of the Portuguese maritime empire. With a displacement of about 400 tons, an impressive figure for the 16th century. It stood as a symbol of strength, ambition, and the insatiable greed that drove Europe's imperial powers to conquer the East. Commanding the ship was none other than Afonso de Albuquerque, a legendary naval commander whose bold military campaigns earned him a permanent place in history. He was not just a captain, but the embodiment of an empire expanding its reach across Asia's vital maritime trade routes. Then came the turning point in 1511. After successfully seizing Malacca, Then one of the most important trading hubs in Southeast Asia, the Portuguese collected an immense trove of treasure: gold, silver, pearls, and tribute from the Kingdom of Siam, modern-day Thailand. All of it was loaded onto the Flor de la Mar, with the mission of transporting this immense treasure back to Europe, a symbol of Portugal's maritime supremacy. But there's one universal rule in history: the greater the glory, the greater the risk. As a fleet of 5 ships began its return journey to Portugal, nature turned against them. A violent storm struck suddenly in the Strait of Malacca, a notoriously dangerous region with strong currents and unpredictable weather. Flor de la Mar, heavily loaded and not built to withstand the fierce tropical sea, broke apart and sank. While Albuquerque himself miraculously survived, the entire treasure, believed to be the largest ever transported by ship at the time, vanished without a trace beneath the ocean floor. Since that moment, the Flower of the Sea has become a living legend among treasure hunters, a mystery that has remained unsolved for centuries. So why can't the shipwreck be found? The answer is ironically simple. Navigational maps of the era were incredibly inaccurate. There was no GPS, no radar, only instinct, celestial navigation, and experience. The Strait of Malacca, today one of the busiest shipping routes in the world, may also be hiding one of the greatest treasures in maritime history. At this point, you might be asking, has anyone ever actually found the ship? Has anyone ever touched those gold bars? The truth is, no one knows for certain. Over the past 5 centuries, dozens, even hundreds, of expeditions have been launched. Divers, archaeologists, private companies, and even national navies have claimed to be close to the wreck site, but no one has definitively proven that they have found the Flor de la Mar. No official reports have confirmed the recovery of any artifacts directly linked to the ship. What makes this mystery even more fascinating is the belief that the treasure is still there, intact, buried beneath layers of mud and sea sand, somewhere beneath the modern ships that now sail daily through the Strait of Malacca. It could be lying just a few dozen feet below the surface, or it may have been swept away by the ever-shifting ocean currents. But one thing is certain: if discovered, the Flor de la Mar would be the greatest underwater archaeological find in human history. The massive treasure aboard the San Jose. Some undersea mysteries have captivated global attention for centuries. When a ship vanishes into cold waters, not only does it take lost sailors with it, but sometimes it carries a priceless hoard for humanity, both literally and metaphorically. Among them, no shipwreck is as coveted or as controversial in the archaeological field among governments or treasure hunters worldwide as the San Jose, the legendary galleon now lying silently beneath the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Colombia. San Jose, a name that might sound modest, but behind it lies a bloody, fierce, and bitterly disputed story. Its final voyage began like many others of its time, transporting a colossal treasure from the New World back to Europe to fund the costly succession wars embroiling the Spanish Empire. Yet San Jose never made it home. In June 1708, off the coast of Cartagena, one of Spain's strongest fortresses in the New World, the San Jose came under attack by British warships in a fierce naval battle. In the blink of an eye, the ship sank with an estimated 200 tons of gold, silver, and raw gemstones aboard, claiming nearly 600 crew members. Only a handful survived, and the treasure, valued at anywhere from a few billion to over $20 billion US, disappeared into legend. Can you imagine what lies beneath the Caribbean seabed? Chests lined with royal crests of gold, pure silver from the famed mines of Bolivia and Peru, uncut emeralds yet to be polished, all destined to strengthen the economy of Europe's most powerful empire at that time. Instead of reaching Madrid, the treasure was swallowed by ocean waves, forever turning into the most sought-after legend in world maritime history. But here's what makes this story more compelling. The dispute over San Jose's treasure has never ended. In 1982, a U.S. salvage company claimed to have found the wreck of San Jose, but Colombia, the nation's sovereign over the waters where the ship sank, disputed that claim, stating that it was only in 2015 that they located the actual resting place of the wreck. Matters grew even more complex when Spain asserted ownership, arguing that the ship remained Spanish state property despite over 300 years having passed. And did you know this? An indigenous tribe in Bolivia also filed a claim for a share of the treasure, stating that their ancestors were forced to mine the silver aboard San Jose, and therefore they are entitled to justice for their forebears. A ship, a treasure, and a conflict spanning legal, political, historical, and ethical realms, all centered around the San Jose shipwreck. So the question arises, can modern individuals or institutions truly lay claim to a treasure from another era? Colombian law is unmistakably clear. All underwater archaeological objects within national waters belong to the state and cannot be sold or divided. No matter how high its worth, be it billions or tens of billions, the treasure remains non-commercial Colombian heritage. It's ironic, isn't it? A massive treasure resting untouched on the ocean floor, its value known in staggering figures, yet any attempt to handle it is bound by complex legal rules, deep-seated disputes, and unresolved history. Still, from an archaeological perspective, the San Jose is an unopened time capsule. It is not only a material treasure, but a living historical archive, potentially revealing sea routes, war tactics, shipbuilding technology, and the lives of 18th century societies. In that sense, its true value surpasses mere billions of dollars. It's a part of humanity's collective memory. The gold-laden ship discovered beneath the desert sands. In 1533, the Bom Jesus, one of Portugal's most legendary ships, vanished along with its entire crew and massive treasure while en route to India. For nearly 500 years, it existed only in stories, legends, and unanswered questions in maritime history. But then, in a stunning twist, this centuries-old mystery was uncovered not beneath ocean waves, but in the unlikeliest of places, beneath the scorching sands of Namibia's desert. You might wonder, how could a sunken ship end up in the middle of an arid desert, hundreds of miles from the sea? The answer lies in the region's geological and climatic history. Centuries ago, what is now the Namib Desert was once a coastline constantly battered by fierce storms. One of these storms likely overwhelmed the Bom Jesus, and over time, desert sands slowly consumed the wreckage, burying it deep and preserving it for generations. Then, in April 2008, a miracle happened. A group of diamond miners from Namdeb Diamond Corporation stumbled upon strange anomalies beneath a thick layer of sand, fragments of wood and metal buried deep in the earth. Sensing the significance of the find, they contacted Dr. Dieter Noli, a renowned South African archaeologist who had devoted his career to unearthing historical mysteries hidden beneath the surface. Upon arriving at the site, Dr. Noli quickly realized they might have made one of the most important archaeological discoveries of the century. The days that followed were filled with anticipation. As pieces of the ship and artifacts began emerging, excitement grew. In just the first 45 minutes, archaeologists uncovered more than 24 pounds of gold coins, an extraordinary amount, with nearly all coins preserved in near-perfect condition. Can you imagine? Coins minted in the 16th century, buried under blistering desert sand for over 5 centuries, still gleaming with stunning clarity and detail. And the treasure didn't end there. As excavation continued, a more complete picture of the Bom Jesus's cargo began to form. Tons of copper ingots, bronze bowls, more than 50 prized elephant tusks, antique navigational compasses, long swords, astronomical tools, and cylindrical gun barrels believed to be over 500 years old were unearthed. Each artifact told its own story, offering insight into the lives of the crew and the dangerous voyage of this legendary vessel. In total, 5,438 valuable artifacts were recovered from the wreck site, including nearly 2,000 gold coins, a treasure far beyond anything historians had imagined. This wasn't just material evidence of a long-lost voyage. It was a priceless cultural and historical trove that deepened our understanding of trade, shipbuilding, and daily life in that era. Have you ever wondered what happened to the crew of the Bom Jesus? The fate of those sailors remains a mystery, but this incredible discovery has reignited global passion for archaeological exploration. Every item recovered is more than just evidence. It's a time portal that transports us back to an era of daring sea voyages and untold secrets. This find is a living testament to the power of history and archaeology, fields of study that not only uncover the past, but help us understand ourselves through stories told in objects long buried. The Bom Jesus may have been lost to the sea and desert for centuries, but its story now sails once more into the light of history. You see, whether hidden beneath the deep ocean floor or buried under the scorching sands of a desert, ancient treasures continue to silently whisper stories of the past. Stories that we modern humans have only just begun to uncover. Ships like the Atocha, Awa Maru, Flor de la Mar, San Jose, and the Bom Jesus were not merely vessels for transporting treasure. They were witnesses to eras of glory and sorrow, to empires that once ruled the world. Whether unearthed or still resting in the depths, each ship carries a piece of humanity's legacy. Dreams of conquest, the weight of greed, and the tragedies of war and colonization. And that's exactly what makes the quest for these treasures so captivating. It's not just a search for gold or silver, it's a journey to rediscover history, identity, and buried truths. And who knows, even now, somewhere beneath the waves or the dust, there may still lie a treasure that has never been revealed, waiting only for someone with enough passion and courage to uncover it. What do you think? Be bold and share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to give the channel a like and subscribe. Thank you all so much. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.